Hello, welcome to Current Affairs with Ethan and Sophie, and today we'll be talking about a major national emergency, plastic pollution. How are you today, Sophie?
I'm fine today. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Anyway, to the topic in hand, plastic pollution. What is the underlying issue here?
This is our last attempt to save the world as marine wildlife is being wiped out by humanity's uncaring habits with our plastics. The latest statistics show that 2 million plastic bags are given out every day by small shops.
So, if all these plastic bags are being used in small shops and land-based areas, how do they end up in the ocean, hurting these poor small sea turtles and endangering aquatic life?
Many ways. Most of it is due to the carelessness of humans, such as dumping in rivers and lakes, or just by people or even big businesses who want to get rid of rubbish easily and cheaply. Plastic can be blown in sea by wind or even dropped by birds picking up litter.
Big shipping containers normally contain plastics, right? Does this mean a lot of plastic is being dropped by them as well?
Absolutely. This is becoming a bigger problem every day. 8 million tonnes of plastic is being dumped in the ocean each year, and 1 in 3 species of marine mammals have been found entangled in underwater litter.
To compare this, in 1990, the global plastic production was only 120 million tonnes, but in 2015, the world produced 381 million tonnes, an increase of over triple the amount within a 25-year period. Could there be any negatives from the plastic ban?
Actually, there are a couple of negatives that come from the plastic ban. Even though these are small effects, they link to the economy which can have major changes. For example, the manufacturers will scale back on their stock, as many products include plastic. Selling it will start to cost more to package and store goods. This could lead to an upfront cost in shoppers that will need to pay more for the product if the packaging goes up in price. This could have a severe impact on jobs and the economy.
But if there's such an impact on the economy, then why are plastics being banned?
This is due to the positive effects of the plastic ban have a larger impact than the negative effects. This is because the plastic ban will stop marine life from becoming extinct before it's too late, as the plastics are being used aren't biodegradable, so they are staying in our oceans for 1,000 years before they can even start to degrade. The ban of plastics allowed shoppers to reuse things such as bags, which will also reduce landfill waste.
The tabloids and the media are all saying that this is humanity's last hope to attempt to save the world, but there are also contrasting opinions all over the board here. The Sun, for example, say that banning plastic could be more harmful to the environment as packaging replacements could triple greenhouse gas emissions, whereas advocacy groups such as the Extinction Rebellion regularly repeats that this is the last chance to save the world. Is this an exaggeration?
Yes, however people don't believe them as they don't think it is our last chance, how it isn't humanity's main issue. But just like climate change, it's a lot more important for the future than the present. But those who don't want to make an impact are saying how alternatives are too expensive to buy. What would you rather have, a slightly larger bank account or a safe world for your kids to grow up and enjoy in?
The future generations should be what we are concerned about, because otherwise they're just going to think of us and remember as a selfish group of individuals. What do experts say about banning plastics?
They are against the banning of plastics, as plastic can be a useful tool in emergencies. Instead, they are urging people to recycle more and make sure that their plastics go where they want them to go instead of the oceans.
In a book I read the other day, it was saying that we rely on plastics too much and that they aren't needed to be there as they are cheap and easy alternatives to rely on. Messages about how we need to save on the world is so precious and are seen in many films and books today.
Social media is regularly used like propaganda was used in the world wars, which is seen to be a good thing as it spreads awareness to millions of people on such sites.
Would you think that this is giving awareness to the younger generations instead of older generations who aren't exposed to this marketing?
I suppose yes, but there are always campaigns constantly going on, such as the Extinction Rebellion, whom we mentioned earlier. Instead, I think that they should be putting facts about how plastic is doing to the ocean.
But surely the facts can be daunting for some kids now.
Yes, some can. But ones like how in 2015 it was estimated that the ocean contained 150 metric tons of plastic, and how there are about 30 trillion microplastic particles in the ocean as we speak. But the facts like how there's 2.67% of plastic thrown away is put into the ocean should be left out, as it could cause people to think that it isn't as much as it is.
That could cause some people to ignore the facts. Personally, I love posters, and I feel like posters and street art is the main way to advertise what plastic is doing to the ocean. For example, there's this poster that is a parody of the Jaws poster. The shark is an outline of plastic straws, and instead of a person, it's a turtle, and the large red font is the word straws.
Using posters such as the Jaws one could have an extreme effect on how people view the plastic crisis, As Jaws is a movie loved by many generations of people and allows people to know just how sharks to us is to turtles.
Another way that I think is a good way of promoting plastic pollution in our waters is through statues and floats dotted around the world. One of these have really caught my eye, and that was the whale float in the Via Reggio Carnival. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This was life-size, so the whale was extremely hard to miss no matter where you are watching the carnival. This carnival gathers hundreds or even thousands of visitors each year, so it would have left people in shock after viewing the float. This would mean that people would be left thinking about what they just saw, and this would most likely make them want to help reduce plastic pollution.
Thanks, Ethan. And this concludes our podcast about banning the use of plastics worldwide.
We are keeping the sea free for 2020. Anyway, thank you very much. Before we go, Sophie has a fun fact to end this podcast.
Yes, some sea sponges have been around since the Jurassic period.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. Thank you so much for listening to this plastic pollution podcast. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or wherever you are.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.